I did stand-up comedy since the 10th grade and loved that. And then when I wanted to write for TV, I wrote a half-hour TV because that's what you, as a comic, that's
And
the
you're
room
so
you can go
funny,
into.
yeah.
Well, that's nice. And
it helps.
No, she's
Being funny
This
helps.
is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Like when we, So, and then I was working on a show that was just not great.
Yeah,
It was
some
really
of them are
tough.
not great.
Yeah, it was. I had to walk every day at lunch and just try to psych myself up to go back. I don't know if you've had a job like that. If you have, I'm sorry. And I walked every day at lunch, and I ran into a buddy of mine, and we both lit up. I was like, dude, yeah, hey, we should have lunch, totally. And it wasn't like an LABS thing. We meant it.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm busy next week, but definitely the week after. I said, yes, let's do it. And then he killed himself. And and I don't think for a second that the lunch would have saved him.
Right.
But I think we could have had one more lunch. And I went to his funeral, and I was trying to figure out how, we both are married, we love our wives, we have kids that we love. Like, how does our story end so differently? And I was thinking about John, and the airplane ride, and how he was flying, and the clouds were rolling in, and he couldn't tell which way was up. The instruments were telling him, but he didn't trust it. And by the time he realized, he was in a nosedive, and he couldn't pull up. And I said, that's depression. And I wrote that down for my friend, and I just kept it in a notebook. And then when I was on a show that went away, and they do sometimes, my friend said, write something you would watch. And I said, I want to write about my friend. And and then I originally wrote it as a half hour.
Hilarious.
That didn't work. Yeah. And then I took it to ABC, and
Can you do one episode like
just
that?
one,
just for the internet, just for us to see. Just for us to see.
Yeah, and I nothing would bring him back, but this show, like, just to see. There's some people here tonight who I know who I've met through Twitter and through walking and doing stuff, and they have identified with the show, and they've got the help they deserve because of the show. So it's just it's been amazing.
I was reading this pilot, and I was at, I think, Jones on 3rd, not on 3rd, like the one in the Valley. and I was Jones on, not on 3rd. And I was sitting next to a wall, and I was like, oh, scripts. I'll read the ABC scripts. I hear this one's good. I cried 3 times. And I was like, oh, I'm in public. And then I turned into the wall, and it was just a window. And there's this woman sitting right here just like looking at me crying, like right here. And I was like, whew, this is the one. Like, it is it. And I mean, it just really hit me. And I think a lot of shows were trying to be, at least 2 years ago, group of people, a lot of heartstrings being pulled. This one did it in such an authentic way. And also some stories you do not see, like male breast cancer. What? Like, you don't see it. It's clever. And I think the half-hour stuff really separated you from a lot of the other things that I had read. And jumping onto something you said you wanted to write a show that you wanted to watch. You were writing a show that kind of only you can tell. You're telling a story that only you can tell. He'll pitch stories to us and talk to us. He is tearing up during these, when he's relaying to us these beautiful ideas he's having, and then he's like throwing punchlines into it that I wasn't ready for. I'm slow though, but even you guys wouldn't be ready for. Anyhow, so that's what really drew me to it, The DJ Nash, the heart.
DJ Nash.
The heart and chops of a DJ.
He's the real deal, yeah.
It's true.
Take it.
I went into the Sunkissed building in the Valley. And there were suitcases.
Like citrus, like that.
No, it doesn't smell like
carpet.
citrus. It smells like brown carpet.
Yeah.
And there were suitcases in the waiting room, and I had never been there before, and I will never be there again. And I met DJ Nash, and I had the same experience. I was reading it. I think I was reading it on my phone, which is a terrible way to read anything, and I was still crying. And what got me was the scene with the men at the hockey game when Rome confesses to his friends that he's been dealing with depression and suicide. And I lost it because I just felt like I had not seen men speaking to each other that way on television or in film. And it moved me so deeply. And now we go to work and we make each other cry, and we also make each other laugh so hard. And I think that is the most important part of doing this job, because we're dealing with such intense stuff all the time, every day. And I think it's the humor that, it makes everybody want to watch the show. But even when we're on set together, we really love being together. And it's such a really, really special group of people who all are kind and hilarious.
It was a little bit intimidating, just because, there's a family that they all have a thing going. They've been doing it for a year. It's a well-oiled machine, and you don't want to go in and ruin it all.
Right.
So,
You always do. Jason.
but you always do. You find a way. Find a way. But I mean, similar to what David was saying, I got on the phone with DJ. He said, be honest, have you seen the show yet? Just tell me, because I'm going to talk to you about it in a different way. And I was honest. I said, no. Now I have. I've seen every episode.
Sure.
And
His episodes,
Just his scenes.
Yeah.
That's what he did when I was with him, too. He never even saw me on Parenthood. He didn't know I was on it.
Very fast forwardable. But it was DJ's immediately DJ's passion for this show, and we've never met until tonight.
Tonight. That's how I saw you in person.
Yeah, this is the first time.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is that
Are you
real?
kidding?
We talk so much on the phone, and I've seen your
didn't
face so
know
many
that.
times as I'm editing, but this is the first time we're in the
This is
same room.
glorious.
Yeah, I know. It's very exciting.
Tremendous.
You're witnessing tonight.
And you're even
witnessing
more
tonight.
handsome.
Why, thank you. You as well.
Unreal.
This is great.
But yeah,
What
it
a
was
meet cute.
even by the end of that conversation, I was talking about my grief, and my voice was wavery, and we were like, there's something magical when you open the door to talk about these things, because it's not something where you go, hey, how you been? Well, everybody has passed away in my life. It's like you don't get to go there a lot, because people like to just hear you go, fine.
Everything's
they go,
good.
okay, good to see you. Just
good.
stay fine. And so, I kind of got off the phone, and I had heard the whole wild story of Eric's journey, and but yeah, it was like I'm have the opportunity to jump aboard a true passion project with a man who really cares and is telling stories that are really hard to tell in a beautiful way, and it was so exciting. And then working on it, it fully lived up to my expectations. I've known Allison for a while, and that was so much fun to get to work with her every day, and James, and it is like a family, and they welcomed me right in.